what kind of role did misinformation and propaganda sort of play in those, those anti-CAA, anti-NRC protests, and which finally led to the Delhi riots?
Yeah, I think, Kaush, it was, as I was saying in a very cynical way, there have been so many propagandas that we almost forget so CAA happened almost ages ago, but it happened only a year ago. And when it happened, I remember, almost daily, I used to talk about this. I used to give facts, 7 or 8 facts on why CAA is good, why it is not. So, but it's difficult for me to remember right now, but I'll try to. I think what happened was that these guys felt, especially after Modi coming to power again, and after the abrogation of Article 370 that happened immediately after he came, took office the second time, and I think 5th August was the Article 370 abrogation, and then came the CAA. So these guys were totally frustrated. They were they were like, it was an attempt to vent so much anger that was pent up over the last 6 years, impotent anger, anger that could not result in Modi being beaten in 2019 elections, and that just spilled on. And in a very strange way, the BJP also supported it, because it was clearly an illegal protest. They had blocked a road. They were inconveniencing millions of commuters, Delhiites. It was clearly Hindu-phobic. All that anger that came out was pure Hindu-phobia, and there were calls, five-year-old children saying, "We're going to kill Modi. I'm going to kill Amit Shah." And there were 4 infants who died in that bitter cold as well, and they were proclaimed as martyrs. And so all those things were happening, and the BJP kind of did not do anything about it. So I still don't know the reason why. I think they thought that maybe it's going to translate into so much anger against this that it's going to help them. Ultimately, they're also politicians. They're not doodh ke dhula koi nahi. So, but it actually led to riots. So I think had they acted swiftly in November, the riots wouldn't have happened. But again, CAA again was, as you mentioned, it was Congress and Communist CPIM resolutions saying that they wanted something very similar. When they were in power in 2012, 2015, their resolutions were that Bangladeshi minorities should be given an asylum in India. Now, who are Bangladeshi minorities? Are they Muslims? No, because Bangladeshi, majority is it's a Muslim majority country. So the minorities are Hindus and Christians and Sikhs, or whatever little Sikhs there are, few Sikhs there are. So when Congress and CPIM wanted that, then it was fine, But when BJP, kind of said that this is going to happen, and why should? Because and we've seen over the last 30, 40 years, I dug out so much data on the population census and all those things. I mean, I can't even remember half of it now. Plus the fact of the matter is that this was an amnesty scheme, This was not, it was, I think, December 31st, 2014. Before that, whoever had, I can't even remember the specifics, I'm afraid, because as I said, so much water has flown under the bridge since then. But the fact was, this was a purely propaganda and false narrative driven protest. And it was a protest to make Muslims kind of, quote unquote, stand up against the power of a state. Almost like what happened in Direct Action Day. It was almost kind of to bring back that ghosts of Jinnah. You could see it from the slogans, you could see it from the marches, and La ilaha illallah. You could see the Shahada replacing the Ashok Chakra of the tricolor, and it was certainly that attempt to display a power that we are not. Of course, I don't consider them as a minority, but it was they themselves say that they are a minority. They're not. I mean, if you look at Kashmir, 95% Muslim Kashmir Valley, and but this was certainly an attempt to display that power. And you saw journalists saying that abhi आप हिंदूज को भी इसमें शामिल होने दें, अभी वेट करें जब हमें पावर मिलेगी. So all those kind of things were happening in 1940s. What Ambedkar warned us about, started to happen now. And but I think people saw through it. And what I would say is that the coronavirus and the lockdown kind of put an end to it. Otherwise, these protests would have continued, because you really can't stop this behemoth. Once you have religion and bigotry in the name of religion, and you have this kind of brotherhood coming together, God knows what comes. You really cannot predict. You can't predict what will happen, because that is based on the principles that are devoid of all facts. It's like saying that science. It's a science versus religion debate. It goes nowhere. You're not going to convince somebody that Jesus did not walk on water, or of immaculate conception, or a flying horse, or so many other things. You just have to leave it at that.
Namaste. We hope you enjoyed this Chitti Media content. Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.